Hello, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast for today. I hope you all are doing fantastic. Just a moment here. There we go. I hope you all are doing fantastic today and have had a great weekend. Welcome to the end of July. It's July 27th. It's our final broadcast of the month of July, which means we're getting close. We're getting closer to the end of summer, and we're already more than halfway through the year. It's crazy to think about how crazy fast this year has gone. So, how you all doing today? Hopefully, fantastic. I am doing all right myself. I hope you are doing wonderful. Our topic for today is mostly going to be about hoarding. Hoarding what exactly? Well, hoarding mice. I am a mice hoarder. I hoard lots and lots of mice. It is, right? Look how cute, right? There you go. They could just sit right here and just think about all the stuff that they hoard as well. But it's more than just like hoarding things. Hoarding memories, digital hoarding, all sorts of things maybe you're not able to let go of, and really drill down into that because when we really think about it, we hoard a lot more than just physical things. We're hoarding a lot of memories within our mind. So that is what we shall be talking about today. Let's see here. What do we have? Look, we have all this junk in the back. Look at all that. Look at all that junk. Maybe a junk to us when we look at it, but it is meaningful to someone else, right? It is. It is. Okay. Look at all this junk behind us. We are in a hoarded house right now, all hoarded up. Only whores hoard, right? So that's how you gotta remember it if you don't want to hoard anymore, because hoarding is more than just keeping a bunch of junk around, like all this junk in the back here. Look at all that junk. If we take a better look, there it is. Now you can see me in my full glory of all the junk I've been trying to hide from all of you in the back. You know, I'm surprised that there's no mice in the back there. There should be, but you know, maybe we can digitally add them. But anyway, going back to my blurry hoard. So hoarding is more than just keeping a bunch of junk around. There's a lot more to it than just that. Sure, it can be about keeping a lot of junk, as you can see here behind me, around the home. But it's far more. Usually it is a form of, it is a coping mechanism. All these things to someone may have sentimental value to them. It may remind them of memories that they had with a friend, a spouse, a family member, someone else that has perhaps passed away that is very close to them, their own parents, something along those lines. It could be that it is a breakup. They have broken up from someone, and it is so devastating for them. So then this is their coping mechanism. Or it could be related to some sort of childhood issue that they have, childhood trauma that they have endured that has not allowed them to properly heal and let go. So they hoard and they grasp on and keep a lot of stuff. And as a result, you end up like this, keeping a bunch of stuff that is literally, I don't know if we can analyze this and look at this and see the type of stuff that they have, but it's usually going to be things that just don't make much sense. They're usually things that are not of any meaningful value whatsoever. It could be food even, leftover food, a whole bunch of stuff. If trauma has occurred, hoarding can help with the depression that someone has. That is why they keep all of the memories. They keep all of this hoard within their home to help them cope with some sort of traumatic incident. as an example, let's just use an example, like perhaps there is a dead spouse or a family member or parents or something along those lines. Perhaps this person orders food and they've not been able to let go of their significant other who has passed away. So they order themselves food and they order something for their significant other that is no longer around. And they place it there, say, okay, that is for them, and they will never touch it, and it just sits there and just rots away. It's a very sad thing when we really drill down into it. They may even talk to this non-existent person. They may have some troubles moving on. And when we look at it, a lot of this has to do with the inability to move on. That is where a lot of the hoard comes from. They keep a lot of the hoard because they cannot let go. It's an inner reflection of their own mind. They're not able to let go of anything up here or in their surroundings, things around them. So they keep it all. But let's talk about other forms of hoarding as well, because it's not just physical. No, it's not just physical here. It could be also digital hoarding, where a person is hoarding everything on their computer, on their phone, saving everything to the point where it's so much stuff that there's no feasible way to organize it in a reasonable amount of time. And we're talking beyond just keeping photos of things. That could certainly be part of it. Maybe like every single photo that they end up keeping, or every single message, or whatever else. They end up keeping every single thing. And it ends up creating a digital clutter. Maybe the person's desktop is loaded with so much stuff that they can't even find anything on their computer. There's no organization whatsoever. And much like the digital hoarding here, it is a little bit different because not everyone is the greatest at keeping things organized or in a proper place. The problem is that it just starts to get a little bit out of control. And we have to look at what the reasons are that someone is doing that. Some of the reasons could be that it's maybe they're savoring every picture of someone that is meaningful to them, or saving every chat message just in case it goes away, or just a variety of other stuff that they end up holding on to. And of course, if you keep those things organized, it's not a problem to have a massive amount of information as long as you have space to keep it. Much like a lot of this stuff here. This is just stuff that is very unorganized, as you can see. If the person were to organize it and throw away the things that are not meaningful, then they could have something for their significant other who has passed away, or whatever else, the reason it is that they're hoarding and holding on to stuff. They could have a nice little collection of things that are well placed in an organization. And it's the same thing with the digital as well. But if we take a look at some of the digital hoarding, again, if we're looking at something that someone that you're close to has passed away, your significant other, maybe you're broken up, or whatever the case is, people will go back to those memories. They will relive them again. They will look at the images, they will remember the times, and then it will just bring them so much sadness all over again because they're not able to let go. They're not able to see the situation that had happened and is done, and they're not able to move on from that situation. Because ultimately what both physical and digital hoarding comes down to is what's up here. You're hoarding memories of something. You're keeping a hold onto something that is never going to be a thing again. You're not able to move on from that mentally. And because you're not able to do that, you're not able to even see that or comprehend it, it begins to manifest in your physical reality or on your phone or on your computer or wherever it else is that you store media and documents and pictures or things like this behind me, whatever the case is, holding on to those things. So these are just things to be mindful of when it comes to what hoarding actually is. And in our next segment, we're going to talk about how you can truly let go of the things that are no longer serving you, things from the past, how to let go of the past and stop hoarding and holding on to these memories and things that are no longer serving you and only bringing you down. Want to say hello to TS Beautiful. How are you doing today? Want to say hello to Glucy. How are you doing as well? You're a digital hoarder, TS Beauty. Ah, well, I would say that if you keep it together, that'd be excellent. You know, keep it together. Also want to say hello to Sparticle42. Nice to have you here as well. I like the necklace. Thank you. I appreciate that. Want to say hello to Pepsi Cola. Great to have you here as well. Lots of new faces today, I see. Let's see. What's the opposite of hoarding? That would be probably being a minimalist. Excuse me, I did not give a thumbs up, but thank you. It thought I gave a thumbs up. Here, I will give 2 thumbs up. There we go. Celebration. Anyway. Let's say, is that a fake or real background behind me? That is real. I'm a hoarder. We're actually in my basement right now. Yeah, we're in my basement. Although seriously, if you went down into my basement, you would just see a huge collection of mice. That's right, filled to the brim, from floor to ceiling. You could just like jump into like a whole pile of these mice and just be like, ah. That's right. We call them the basement mice. Funny, right? Yeah. So how is everyone doing today? Hopefully you all are doing fantastic. Let me continue to read some of your questions and comments here. Let's see. Been watching since you started on YouTube, on and off. Happy to see you're doing well. Well, thank you, Pepsi Cola. Which do you prefer, Pepsi or Cola? My answer is neither, because diabetes. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much for following for so long. Mice forever, yes, mice forever. Cola makes me thirsty. I adore it. Yeah, okay. Let's see, I actually don't drink much soda, ironically. I like their old 90s and 2000 ads. Okay. Ribena? I've never heard of that. Let me look that up. Let's look it up. British brand of blackcurrant based soft drink. Ah, interesting. That's very interesting. I'm not familiar with that. I've never heard of that. Yeah, it's probably because they don't have it here, you know? It's how it is. Now we're going to switch our totally legit background to something a bit different, you know, but still all hoarded up. I mean, look at this. This is all types of hoarded up. As we're about to talk about our next subject here, how to let go. Let's see. It is really tasty and natural juice blackcurrant. Okay, that sounds good to me. As long as it doesn't have too much sugar. I don't do too much sugar. These mice do a lot of sugar. That's right. Let's see, digital hoarder here. I screenshot articles information out of a slight concern they'll be edited, redacted, erased, inaccessible in the future. You know, honestly, that is a good concept. As long as you keep things organized, that's all that really matters, you know? Because what I do is I've kept a lot of like photos and videos and funny stuff from like friends and everything. And I have a folder for that sort of stuff, so I understand. But everything's like organized, and it's very interesting to go back and look at that sort of stuff, you know. No added sugar, just fruit sugar from black currants. Okay, sounds very, very good to me. Okay. Look at this massive hoard behind me now. It is absolutely atrocious, isn't it? I mean, look at that mess here. Look, there it is. We can see this amazing background in all its glory. Don't mind the fact that, you know, I kind of look out of place in this background for whatever reason, but, you know, maybe that'll be a little better. There you go. Anyway, blur it up. We don't need to see this massive hoard behind me, because we're going to learn how to clear out all this clutter. All this clutter behind me here, it's not serving me anymore. I have to learn to let go. Let go of all of my hoarding and let go of things that have happened in the past. Because as we just talked about, when it comes to hoarding, you're holding on to things from the past. You're hoarding on to things that are no longer in your life, whether it be a spouse who has passed away, a friendship that is no more, your parents, some sort of abuse that has happened, something along those lines. So you have to be able to clear that all out. So how do you do that? You have to give yourself some space to feel emotions. The problem with hoarding, when you hold on to all this stuff behind you, it's because you have not allowed yourself to feel sad, to feel a sense of grief, and cry and let it all out. You reject your emotions. You push them away and think that you holding on to all this stuff is going to make you feel better. The problem is that if you've dealt with like the passing of someone, some sort of traumatic event, if you're an adult and this happens, it's not going to become a chronic problem unless you make it a chronic problem by not able to let go of the past. If you're a child, it's a bit different. If you've dealt with some sort of traumatic incident that has happened. But if you're an adult and someone has hurt you, you have a death of someone, you no longer have a friendship, these are situational events that happen. And if you're not able to feel emotions and let them go, then that situational depression and sadness is going to turn into something chronic. And it could lead to what we have here. Maybe it may not even be to this extent. It could be something much more minor. Let's say, for example, you lose a spouse who lived with you. Maybe like this person's room right here is filled with all of their stuff and they cannot let it go, and they go in there and remember all these fond times that they had, and it brings them to tears, and it's very sad for them, but they're not able to let go. They're not able to let go. It's a very sad thing, isn't it? When you're not able to let go of these things. That's why you have to give yourself some space. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel those negative emotions and let go. Feel them and cry and just let it all go. Let it all out. Next thing you have to do is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is being in the present moment. Being in the here and now. What is actually happening now? The problem is that we get caught up in our mind of things reminiscing over the past. Things that have happened in the past. Nostalgia even. Thinking about the past. And we get trapped and lost in things that have happened long ago. And we want to hold on to them. We want to hold on to them and we do our best and we're not able to see what's currently in front of us and what's actually happening now. So learn to practice mindfulness of being in the present moment. What is happening right here and right now? Right this very moment. What is happening? Not something that has happened long ago, or you not thinking about what's going to happen in the future if you have some sort of despair or fear or anxiety of what may happen in the future. You have to be the one to let that all go and be mindful and in the present moment. Find something to occupy your time that you truly enjoy. That's another major thing you have to do in order to let go of the past. These are what positive coping mechanisms is what this is. You're finding an activity that you enjoy and you're pursuing that. You're moving on with your life. Because here's what you have to think. If you did have someone close to you who has passed away, wouldn't they want you to be able to move on with your life and be happy on your own? I don't think that they would want you to be holding on to them and not able to move on and crying over something that is no longer there. Whether it be that they're alive or not alive anymore. The fact remains is that you have to be the one to move on from the situation. So find something that'll be occupying your time that is something very positive for you. Something that's very positive, that's a fun activity that you enjoy, being able to do something fun, meeting new people, engaging in positive conversation. All those things are wonderful activities. And another very good tip is to disconnect your memories from the object or things that you're hoarding. So for example, we see in the background here all these things. The person who's holding on to all this stuff, they may be able to look at every single item and say, this is the memory of this is the memory of that, that's the memory of that. And they have all these associations that they have formed to these things, which is why they cannot throw them away. They cannot throw them away because they have a very strong emotion and memory attached to these items. Perhaps your deceased husband's favorite food was blank, whatever else. Form a new memory. Let's say your spouse's favorite food was an apple. And it's very hard for you. It's very hard for you to even go into the grocery store because you see an apple there and it reminds you. This is where you incorporate mindfulness. This is where you incorporate letting go so that you no longer have that association. You have made that association where you see something and it triggers a memory that you had, which then triggers sadness, depression, despair, fondness of something that is no longer around. You can still throw away all this stuff and keep positive memories. Why hold on to all of the negative memories? Why hold on to trivial things that are no longer serving you? Let them go and keep some of the positive memories. Remember some of the good times that you had, the positive things that you have done. Remember those, but realize that you don't have to hold on to physical things in order to remember. You have your mind. Your mind is the ultimate, most powerful tool. So as long as you remember some of those positive things, instead of things that are going to bring you sadness and despair, then you can move on. past this. You really can. So, in the next segment, I would really like to talk about not specifically what I hoard, so to speak, but things that I am nostalgic over, that I have a fondness of from the past. Because I think this is something that we need to all think about, something that maybe we're still holding on to from the past. So I would like to talk about that in the next segment. Okay. I want to say hello to Lone Druid. Great to have you here. I'll get to those comments in just a moment here. I would like to say hello to... Okay, that is actually all here. Let's see. Got a lot of comments to read here. Let me read the ones here first. Often catch myself being drawn under the bridge by someone who was into Greek Roman martial arts, and that's haunting. Interesting. Terrified of water, but drawn to it and living on the water. That's very interesting as well. I don't like water all that much personally, but let's see. Lone Druid says, does hoarding happen due to the human trying to fill a void or feelings of emptiness inside? Yes, absolutely. The feelings of emptiness someone has inside, that is what they hold on to. They hold on to things that have some sort of value to them, some sort of sentimental value, and they hold on to those because that is where a lot of their memories end up being sparked from. How can the human face themselves and deal with the feelings of emptiness in the proper way? Yeah, we just talked a lot about how to be in the present moment, learning to throw away some of the stuff that you have memories of. Let's see, my dad hoarded boxes and other stuff in my room, in my mom's room after she died. Helped him clear it out after 7 years of it accumulating. Wow. 7 years is quite a lot. It really is. Because you have 7 years of stuff to keep on to. Yeah, you know, when it's been that long and someone's not able to let go, it is really it really is just like a sad thing, isn't it? That someone's not able to let go. But I'm glad that you're able to let that all go. See, why don't humans allow themselves to... You have a lot of very good questions, Lone Druid. I appreciate that. Thank you. Why don't humans allow themselves to feel however it is that they feel? Are humans compelled to act happy and put on a smile on their face even if they're truly miserable? Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what us humans do. We pretend to be someone else to fit into society. We're being someone, a happy face, just to not expose our vulnerabilities. We have vulnerabilities deep within us, and when we're not able to express them because we're very fearful of showing our true self, we pretend to be someone else. We have a smile on our face even when we're sad. So, yeah, that's exactly what people do. Are humans caught in an endless cycle of thinking about the past and the future? Thinking takes us out of the present moment, away from reality. Yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. A lot of people, they are more drawn to things from the past, especially if it's something positive, or they're very fearful of something that is going to happen in the future. So, yeah, us human beings have to really work or be aware that we're thinking outside of what is happening right here and now. Let's say thought patterns are contrived to distract us from our place in the present moment. When we can be manipulated to leave the present moment, the seduction of the thought energy light illusion is able to control our strength and power. Ah, so interesting. Yes, a lot of distractions, aren't there? A lot of these thought patterns that we have will indeed distract us. They will put us into a place where we're not able to move forward with our life. Because when we're thinking about something in the past, we're not able to be in the present moment and move on with our life. We're just stuck in a state of paralysis. Likewise, if we're thinking about something in the future, we have anxiety, we have fear of something in the future. Guess what happens then? Paralysis happens. You're not able to move on. So, yeah. Very, very, very good comments. Thank you so very much for all those amazing comments. Now, I have eliminated the hoard, okay? No more hoard. No more hoard. I would like to talk a little bit about what I feel nostalgic over. Some of the things that I think about from the past, or maybe I hold on to a little bit. Am I stuck in the past? And I have too much nostalgia over some of the stuff from my childhood? Well, let's think about this, because things that hold sentimental value, that you're nostalgic over, it's basically the same sort of thing. Things that you feel very that hold some sort of sentimental value. You feel a sense of nostalgia. You have items with sentimental value, and you feel nostalgic about something that happened in the past, or it brings back positive memories of your childhood, something along those lines. I'm sure there's something all of us can think about from the past that we feel nostalgic about. Something that made us feel happy and we hold on to it, makes us feel good. It's perfectly fine to have some items like that. Absolutely. We just don't want to be constantly thinking about those again and again and again, to the point where all we do is live in the past. So let me actually share a little bit about the things that I feel nostalgic about. For me, it's actually not people. Like, I don't feel nostalgic over people or, actions or things regarding people. I know that seems like, oh, you don't have good memories of, positive things that happen with family and such. Like, maybe a little bit, but it's not like I don't feel nostalgic over it. It's very, very interesting. It really is. It really is. For me, the biggest things are mostly various forms of entertainment. So this is like music, for example. I don't really listen to any like current songs. I just listen to older music and, things along those lines that bring me back to a time when I was much younger. Listening to music from the 90s or 2000s or things along those lines, even if it was a popular song back then, it's something that, I like that more than stuff now. Because it's like now, it's like I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know. The other thing that I feel nostalgic over are video games as well, especially video games that I played when I was much younger. Because pretty much most of the games that I play, and if you're not familiar, I have a gaming channel, Asphodel Gaming. So be sure to subscribe to that if you have not already, because we play old games. I think one of the games that I'm currently playing now is before I was even born. I never played it back in the day, but it's the idea. It's like, oh, that does not really bring me any nostalgia, but I'm playing something that is older than me. And this is honestly something that I hear a lot from, like, a lot of people who comment on my gaming stuff who have maybe never seen my gaming stuff before. They would just say, gosh, this game brings back so many positive memories. I have so much nostalgia over this game. So it's like, it makes me feel very happy that I'm able to bring some sort of positive memories back to someone's life, Because we're playing something that is old from the past, but we're playing it now in an enhanced and better way almost. So it's like replaying it, but replaying it in a new, better way, at least in my eyes. So just playing some of those older games really does allow me to express some of my childhood again and be someone that like I was when I played a lot of games when I was much younger, especially if the game was very meaningful to me, because there have been multiple games throughout my lifetime that have made a huge impact on my life. The storyline for them have completely changed my life. So I have not played any of those particular games yet, because those are like really, really, really long games. So have not played them yet, but when I do, it's like I will be showing something that changed my life to other people. So maybe it'll also change their life as well. And I have a lot of fond memories. There's been a few games that I've played that I do have a lot of fond memories. Some of my favorite games, but not to the extent of thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. I suppose. Yes. So yes, it is something that is very meaningful to me. But the thing is, I don't think it's just me. I think if you look at entertainment in general, music, movies, video games, so many people are going to say that things were just better and more creative in the past. Whereas media today, it's very easily forgettable and people are not as interested in it. It's like, think about a song that comes out now versus a classic from like the 80s or like the 90s. It's like everyone knows the song that came out, 80s and 90s. But it's like the song that comes out now, it's like no one knows it. No one's paying attention. Or think about some movies or TV shows is another good example, where you have TV shows now being made and they're rebooting old series. Why are they rebooting old series? Because all of the new shows that they're making are just not, they're not slapping as hard and hitting as hard as some of the stuff in the back, It's like all of the good creative stuff has already been done. So you have to bring it back to reach a new audience. Like, how many people are going to watch a reboot of a show that they remember when they were younger, as opposed to some brand new show that they've never heard of and they have no memory associated with it? And even when it comes to video games, like there's so many such generic video games being made now that it's like, people aren't really going to look at it. Especially if it's something that they've never even heard of. But if you look at games also that are based on something that from really old, like you still have Super Mario games and the Legend of Zelda games still being made. Those are games that came out in the 80s when they first started. So we're talking 40 years ago. That is wild to think about. But the nostalgia is still there because they keep making new games so that newer people, even people who played the older games when they were younger, it's still the same franchise. It's still the same series. So they have memories. And just think how much money these companies make if they do. Remember that old game that came out in like the 80s or the early 90s? We're going to remake it now with a whole bunch of new stuff. Well, guess how many that new game is going to sell? It's going to sell more than a brand new game that just comes out that no one's really ever heard of. So there's a lot of nostalgia people have about the past, and I think a lot of media these days, it's just not many people are really interested in it. So those are the things that I have nostalgia over. Let me know what things that you reminisce of in the past. I'm really curious. Okay. Let's see. I already was going down underwater, choking on the water in agony, and lost the hope that I will swim out of the under the bridge, but it was too humiliating to just drown like that. So, interesting. Okay. Is this a dream that you had, or is this actually happening? It sounds like a dream. Like, did that actually happen? I don't know. I often catch myself stuck under the pliers, like stuck in the moment. It's called hoarding. Yeah, well, when you're stuck in the past, you could be hoarding on to memories. Absolutely. My past reality. Ah, interesting, interesting. Past reality. Hmm. Retro games, yes. Retro games, yes. I'm surprised that there's not an emoji for that. There is one. Let's do this. We like this one. There we go. Oh yes. We haven't been able to eat any hearts in a while. We are heart deprived. That's right. That is super super cute, isn't it? 14 years ago. Okay, okay. I'm glad that you are out of that situation now. You gotta remember this. The past always makes us stronger. Whatever happened in the past makes us a stronger person, no matter how awful of an experience it was. It could have been an absolutely horrible experience for us. Very traumatic, very negative. But we have improved our life by learning from the past. Okay. Now, let's see. Mice. Oh, these silly mice. Aren't they just so silly? I love those mice. Yes, I do. Boys? Boys. Let's get one of you on one side and the other of you on the other side. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. I think it's dangerous to think one can come back from anything. Isn't it possible for someone to be traumatized beyond the point of recovery? That is a good question. That really is. Okay. So, my personal sort of belief when it comes to things that have happened in the past is that I think our minds are so strong that we're able to move on past a lot of traumatic events. Of course, if we're talking about something that has caused severe damage to the point where it could be physical damage to the brain or things along those lines, because even if there's not a physical injury, even just if someone is very young and they're constantly in this negative mindset, it could literally reshape them the way that their mind forms, and it could make it extremely hard for them to actually properly deal with the traumatic incidents. However, I wouldn't necessarily say it is impossible for them. It would just require so much work that it could be a lifelong, well, I think a lot of our journeys, especially if we've dealt with traumatic memories from childhood, it is a lifelong journey to deal with the trauma. Because even though like I had a very traumatic childhood in the past, things still come up. There are still memories because of how things formed in my mind. So I have to, and I have over time slowly began to change a lot of what my thoughts are and be in a much better place. So I think it just takes a lot of time. But for some people, they may not necessarily have the willpower or strength to really go forward with it. They may not really know how. They may not have the tools. They may not put in the time and dedication. I was, so that is why I was able to move past a lot of it. But I know that not everyone is. So it is certainly possible that some people may be to a point that they can't really recover because they don't have the tools or inner strength that they feel as though they are lacking. They don't have it. So it is a sad thing, absolutely. Let's see. I know what you mean. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but it doesn't make me stronger, just more mental. Yeah, that's also an interesting comment as well. Okay. Yeah. I always look at my personal belief is anything that happens in my life that seems negative, There's always a learning lesson that I am being given. I think perhaps I am a rare person with that sort of belief, because I don't think many people have that sort of belief, because they would look at something negative and take it as negative. I look at something negative and take it as something positive. Like, what can I learn from this? It's devastating. It's horrible. It makes me so sad and upset. But what can I learn from it? That is my personal belief. So. Okay. Let me plug in my computer. We're closing in on the percentages. There we go. All right, so one more thing to do before we conclude the stream for today. It is time now for our weekly tarot reading. Let's see what we end up getting today. This is going to be for the very end of July into the very beginning of August. So we have 4 more days left in July. So let's see what we get here. All right. Let's put that down here. There we go. And we have our crystals now to help us be better intuitive, to really understand what we're getting here. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. We're going to do one for the beginning of the week. Oh, there we go. We already have 2 out. Okay, so this is going to be for the beginning of the week here. Okay, that is the beginning of the week. Now we're going to do the middle of the week. Let's see what we end up getting. Middle of the week. Show me the middle of the week. What do we get? What is it going to be? Middle of the week. There it is. I saw it come out at the very last second, but it didn't quite come out. And then lastly, for the weekend ahead. What does the first weekend in August bring us? There it is. There it is. Okay. Everything is just... This is going to be wild, isn't it? Everything just kind of flew out. Except for really this center one. Yeah, maybe I should ask one more about the center one. Let's ask one more. There it is. Okay. There it is. It came out. It came out immediately. Okay. So this is going to be for the beginning of the week here ahead. We have here the Page of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. So I'm not sure which one came out first. I don't really know, but here's both of our cards here. Page of Pentacles and Two of Wands. I will read the Two of Wands first. As you can see, this person is at a crossroads. Usually when I look at this card, I look at it as it's time to make a decision. You know, it's like you're at a crossroads and it's time to make a major decision in your life. So that can mean any sort of thing. Planning, making decisions, setting out on some sort of adventure ahead that you have for yourself. Let's say, new ventures, focus on what your future plans are. You have to put in the required amount of effort to be able to be successful. But you do have there is a potential here. Like, which road do you wish to take on this journey? You're moving in a positive direction, but you have to think things through. So let's see what the Page of Pentacles is here. As you can see, there's a woman here. Page of Pentacles can mean ambition, desire. So this can be like something that you're very ambitious about. You're moving to a place now in your life, on your journey, where something absolutely amazing is happening in your life, and it's time to make major decisions that are filled with your ambition, your desires, what's really motivating you on this journey. This sounds like a very, very positive beginning of the week. It'll bring a lot of welcoming changes into your life. It could be financial, it could be with your career, it could be with any sort of connection or situation that you're dealing with within your present life. Okay. So excellent start to the week. Let's see how this progresses. So the middle of the week here. This was the first card that I got. Let's just look at the first card here. This is the Ten of Wands. As you can see, this person is carrying a bunch of wands behind them. It's like this is a struggle for them. Maybe you set out on a new journey, you set out on a new path, you're very ambitious, but then you realize, oh, wait a second. There's a lot. There's a lot here. And maybe it seems a bit overwhelming to you. It may seem a bit overwhelming, and maybe that kind of starts to demotivate you. We don't want that. You can feel weary, overwhelmed, you have too many responsibilities, overburdened, a lot of pressure or strain upon you. Well, let's see what this next card is. Maybe help understand the situation a bit better. This is the Chariot. As you can see, it's almost the complete opposite of this. If we take a look at both of these cards, this is what's so interesting about this. Take a look at both these cards here. This person here is carrying a bunch of stuff. And it's like overwhelming for them. It's a bit too much. But then you have the other card here, the Chariot. This person is now on top of two things that are carrying her. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Okay. So this particular card, it can mean having some sort of willpower or strength or control, being able to put in the effort needed to be able to succeed, having self-discipline if you want to be victorious with your outcome. But the problem is that because we have this here as well, there's certainly some sort of feeling you have about being overburdened, feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities. But maybe it's just a temporary thing. Maybe it just, as with learning new skills, if we think about learning a new skill, guess what happens? We're very ambitious initially, and then we feel overwhelmed with this, like, oh, in order for me to learn how to play an instrument, to learn a new language, to learn how to program, learn how to use this software, it seems so exciting initially, and I'm doing it, but oh, there's so much to learn. I feel overwhelmed. Well, don't ever lose hope. You'll be able to accomplish that. And lastly, for our last card here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. That is lovely. That is a very good positive sign. So the Ace of Pentacles can indicate opportunity, prosperity, and a new venture. Material gains, beginnings of success, successful endeavors, good financial success, and awards that are coming to you. These are all very, very positive signs. It really is. So if you're starting a new venture, if you're starting a new career, if you're starting out on something brand new, whatever it is, it sounds like you're very ambitious initially. There we go. That's a bring some extra light into that. You're very ambitious, but the middle of the week you have to be very careful because you may feel a little bit of burnout, but keep focused, and then you will achieve magnificent rewards. It could be this weekend. It could be the start of something that happens this weekend. Whatever the case is, this is a very, very positive outcome that shows that you feel a little burdened, but all this other stuff can help guide you in the correct direction with your life to help better your life, better your career, better your finances, and put you into a place where you feel as though you're actually ambitious. You're actually doing what you're meant to do here. And this is a very, very positive sign. So hopefully this all resonated with you and something very, very positive will happen. Okay. So let us know. That was a very, very positive reading, I must say. All right. Let me get to the comments here. I've kind of lost them. Baby Gravy, hello. Far from Jaded, hello. Let me read over some of these questions here. If I believe that I can come back from anything, I might not be as careful as I should be. Interesting. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If you feel as though you can overcome anything, yeah, you may not be as careful. I'm still careful though. Even though I feel as though I can overcome any challenge, I'm still very careful. I really am. One of my favorite nostalgic memories was role-playing with my best friend. I was the storyteller and he was the character who we called it the mission. Ah, that sounds really, really cool. That sounds really, really interesting. Wow. Okay, let me read over some of your comments here. Let's see. This girl is live and still streams. I remember her video was like the girl. This girl is so fake, fake, fake. OMG, it was so creepy. Yeah, look, I am here and I am real. Far from Jaden, I really am. And then she was like, let's just say that I kept getting repressed. It was so creepy too. Yeah, you know, we're still here. We're still able to make plenty of videos, and it is my passion and my desire to be able to do that. Okay. All right. Let's see where else here. Okay, I think I got all the comments there. Let's see. It was like D&D with no dice. Oh, interesting. Okay. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. Never played it. Never played it. Let's see. How could reading be a collective unconscious abstract, not the concrete person? Not entirely sure what you mean by that. Not entirely sure. But anyway, I am getting a little bit over time here. I do want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to the broadcast. And I will see you all again next week, our first week in August. So I will be live again on August 3rd. So you all take care, have a great one, and I will see you all again. Thank you all so very much for attending, and I hope that this week is as the tarot reading read. So I will see you all then. Bye-bye.